The Asian Vibes show on Shaw Spotlight, Channel 10, has been on air for the past 4 years. The show now sees a need to extend the reach to a wider, diverse, and emerging communities in Thunder Bay and in the region. So the show is going global. So, in our Global Vibes show, our first guest is Dr. Sultan Siddiqui, who is the Lakehead University faculty representative of the Shad program. Dr. Sultan Siddiqui, welcome to our studios.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank
Such a
you.
pleasure
Thank you
to
so
be
much.
here and talk about Shad.
Yes, so
Shad is, has been in the community for many years, and it's hard to miss it in the month of July. In the city, you would see all these young people at different locations. You wonder, where are these people from, and why are they so all energetic and enthusiastic and bubbly?
Youth and
It
everything.
brings a lot of positive energy to the
Nice.
community. And
Nice.
it's great to be here on your show and
Thank
talk
you so
about
much.
Shad.
Same here. Thanks for your time. But how did it all start? We're really curious to know when and
Shad.
how did it start?
Yeah, Shad is a wonderful program. It was conceived in Aurora, actually. In Aurora, there's a college called St. Andrew's College. It's a very famous college, a very historical college. And that's where the founders dreamt of Shad. There's a creek that flows through that campus, and that's where it gets its name.
I was curious about the name too.
It's very
So
interesting.
it's not an acronym.
No, it's not an acronym. It's the actual name of a small creek that flows through the campus.
Right. And so that's how it started.
That's exactly how it started.
And how did it come to Lakehead University?
Lakehead, back in the day, enrichment programs were a rare thing. There were not that many around. And I would say that the university had a vision to jump on this. And we had our program, our director of development, Mo Keeter, the late Mo Keeter. He was very instrumental in bringing the program here at Lakehead. And also our current president, Dr. Moira McPherson, she was also involved in the initial discussions about Shad. And it's people had a great vision, I would say, because Shad has brought such a tremendous goodness to the campus. There are all these young people who come from, who are leaders of tomorrow, and they come from all across the country, and they get to spend 4 weeks at Lakehead campus and in Thunder Bay, and they build very fond memories of their experience. So they're going back to their community, knowing where Thunder Bay is and what a wonderful place it is, and knowing Lakehead University. Before coming to Shad, many of the students have never heard of Thunder Bay. So this is like a mysterious place, and they come in here and live basically their fantasy kind of program, and they go back with very fond memories.
I'm sure. It's such a beautiful place, such a green and nice place. But how did you feel there was a need? Not you or whoever the founders were.
Yeah.
How was
so
it?
there are many aspects of it. One I would say is we always had these brilliant students in our high school system, but they seem to be attracted towards sciences, basic science like chemistry, physics, or mathematics. The idea was, what if we can actually get them into entrepreneurship, and the country would greatly benefit from their brilliance. So essentially, the idea was to nurture leadership in entrepreneurship. So like entrepreneurship based on technology and sciences. So bring in, how technology advanced over the last few years. And many of these are technological entrepreneurs are different people, right? So we want to cultivate that among our high school students. And not only that, there are a whole bunch of students that people felt were not challenged enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of the students, the regular high school work actually becomes a bit boring for them. So the idea is to, can we offer them something more challenging? So just imagine this, the whole school year is over, and then in July, people are getting ready for the summer fun, right? then you have this bunch of people who are getting all very excited to come to Shad. Why? Because, and what would you be doing? Somebody would ask you, what are you going to do at Shad? They would say, oh, we'll be listening to lectures, workshops. They're so excited about that. So, so it's to challenge. I mean, there was this need to challenge our students more.
Give them more opportunities to get
opportunities,
involved with the real life and industries. Did you, besides Lakehead University, were there other universities involved in the Shad
Yeah,
program?
initially, like I said, the program was conceived at St. Andrews College. There, it ran only for 1 year. And then the president of Waterloo, he was one of the early adopters. And so it moved to Waterloo, and then Carlton, and then started spreading everywhere. Now there's a push to expand it further. I think last year we had 17 campuses, and there are plans to expand it even further.
And who are the Shads? What is the selection
Who
process?
are Shads? Yeah, Shads.
How does the application process?
Yeah, the Shads are, first of all, they're academically, they are high achievers. So these students have very high averages, 95, 96%.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just that. They are very well-rounded individuals. Many of them are talented musicians. They have advanced diplomas in piano and violin and all that. Some of them are nationally ranked athletes.
Oh, wow, okay.
At the same time. And not just that, they are involved in the communities. I mean, they are doing exciting things within the local communities. So they are leaders as such, and with great potential. So what we do is we bring all of them here on the campus. So it's like a unique gathering. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be around with people who have similar ambitions and similar goals, who dream like you do. And oftentimes in high school, people find themselves alone. They are locked into their routines. And what Shad does is it allows people to break out of that routine. So to try out new things. In high school, there's always a stigma. If I screw this, I will be, I'll have that stigma stamped attached with me for them. That can be a very troubling thing for young people.
Insecurities and things
so
like that.
So here, what Shad does is it provides this very nourishing environment where you can actually try out different things. So, for example, you might be just great at math and academically. Here, you might actually try playing the piano for the very first time.
Okay.
Talking about the Asian angle, I have a wonderful story.
I have to take a very little break if you allow me,
Okay,
Dr.
sure.
Sultan, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
Dear viewers, stay tuned. Dr. Sultan has some really great memories to share with you. Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Global Vibes. This is our first show, and our guest is Dr. Sultan Siddiqui, who's talking to us about the Shad program. And he was, you were talking to us about a nice memory.
Yeah, I have a very wonderful angle. A few years back, we had this young person.
Yeah.
Her name was Jonita Gandhi.
Right.
And
she's a singer.
Yeah, she's a singer now. She's quite famous. She has millions of fans now.
Right.
So she came to Lakehead as a Shad. And she's also an accomplished, academically, she's great. She has wonderful degrees and all that. She has done everything academically. But we at Shad, we also have this talent show. And then, so we ask every Shad to show their talent.
Okay.
So she got up and started singing Bollywood songs.
Right.
And everybody was so impressed and encouraged her and all that. And then, long behold, soon after, she started her making videos on YouTube. And then I don't know if you know, Amitabh Bachchan is a very famous superstar from Bollywood. And he actually noticed her. And he tweeted her videos. And then A.R. Rahman, the very famous musician, saw that. And he actually got her, and she's now a playback singer,
in our far back in our far east country in
Yeah,
India.
yeah, yeah. So that actually talks about the well-roundedness of Shad,
Absolutely.
right? So not only these people are academically great, but so Shad actually allows you to discover your talent, discover your hidden strengths.
Exposing.
Yeah. So you are in this nurturing community, and then nothing can go wrong. I mean, you try something. If it doesn't work, it stays here
But
at
at
Shad.
least you know that you've tried, and this is
Exactly. And sometimes it's all about discovering your strength. So Shad is a very intense program. Uh, yeah. So
yeah. Leading on that question,
yeah.
you talked about the intensity of this program. How do you structure that 4 weeks of the
Yeah.
stay with
So
social science,
yeah,
health,
yeah,
music,
yeah.
natural science?
So basically, the four core areas of the program is science, technology, entrepreneurship, and mathematics.
Right.
So, but it goes beyond that. So sciences in university is usually applied sciences, so doing all kinds of things. So the day at Shad starts at 8:30 with breakfast, and then it ends at 12. So pretty much
Which is the mornings?
12 p.m. at night.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah,
half of it.
exactly.
Okay.
So back in a few years back, we used to have grade 13.
Nice.
At that time, the program used to end at the day used to end at 2 a.m.
No wonder it's
Yeah,
intense. Yeah, it's
4 weeks,
intensive.
totally intense.
Okay.
And then so all sorts of things happening during the day. We have guest presenters from different areas. So people are passionate about different things. You might have a geology professor, speaking very passionately about her research and the things she does, and so it exposes the discipline to Shaz. And then the medical community from Thunder Bay is is involved in the program for many years. So we have experts, specialists come in and talk about the profession. So you might listen to a orthopedic surgeon, and then let's say you want to become an orthopedic surgeon. So here you have a real person in front of you talking about their careers and things that they do in life.
Very
And
motivational,
very
inspirational.
And then it might occur to you, maybe this is not for me.
Oh, okay.
So people do change their minds after coming to Shad and find new strengths. And so it's a very intense program. There are workshops, lectures, and then there are talent shows, like I said, and there are recreational trips to different places in Thunder Bay. All these things are very inspiring. There have been students. I'll tell you another story. We had one Shad who basically grew up in big cities. He was international, and he came here, and we went to Sibley Park, and we were camping overnight. So he seemed to be very disturbed. So like, what is going on now? Why are you so like? He's like, I've never seen so many trees. They're scaring me. I'm like, so a person who is scared of all the tall trees that they see here. Imagine that. So
They have been living in a city in concrete jungles, and okay.
Yeah, so this is such a tremendous experience. Looking at the Wimet Canyon, for example, right? It is inspiring. It really is inspiring. So Thunder Bay has many great things to offer. The nature that we have, right? It's just remarkable.
So do you have Shads coming from Thunder Bay as well?
No, the idea here is that Shad is to take them out of their comfort zone. So the idea is to just take them far away from their homes, create this special community, and let them discover things there. Let them discover their strengths. So the Shads from Thunder Bay, they go to other campuses.
Oh, different campuses.
Different campuses, yeah.
So you have about 17 campuses? You
Yeah, right now we have 17
campuses.
And roughly there are about 50 students in each.
17 across Canada
across
or Ontario?
Across Canada,
Across
from
Canada.
east to west coast, yeah.
Right. And if I may ask, what about the logistics and the funding?
It's not an easy thing to organize Shad. Let's talk about funding. Initially, the program was supported by Industry Canada grants, because the government realized that this is such a great opportunity for entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And there are many entrepreneurs who have come out of the Shad program. There are many many companies have been. They form new companies and new in technology companies, especially. So Industry Canada supported it, and then a lot of private funding companies supported it because they're getting these students.
Right.
So it's a great experience for them.
A lot
And
of
then,
mentoring happens with the
yeah, a
industry
lot of
too.
happens, and philanthropy was
Oh,
also
okay.
a very big part of it.
Right, right.
Yeah, so people realized the benefit of donating to Shad,
Yeah.
and all the great things it brings.
Absolutely.
It is it's such a, there's so many things I can talk about Shad. The kind, Shad, it forms like a global community essentially.
True,
So,
absolutely.
like at Thunder Bay at our Lakehead campus, for example, well, they're new here, you get skin rashes and so on. So we do make a few hospital trips. So we take them to the hospital, and you might be surprised, like the doctor who is working on the Shad is actually a Shad himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Coincidence, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So one year we had a student who dislocated his shoulder. We took him to the hospital, and guess what? The doctor.
The doctor himself was a
So
Shad.
So he
Oh,
knew
wow.
exactly what the student has gone through. So
That's an acknowledgement and appreciation by itself. Eh?
yeah, exactly, right. So
Nice.
you're not alone. You soon realize that there are like-minded people like you
Awesome.
everywhere in the country.
Very much.
And it builds this network,
Absolutely.
which is so great. I mean, which is so positive. So
Dr. Sudha, we'll take another little break if I have your
Right.
permission. And dear viewers, stay tuned. We would love to talk a little bit more with Dr. Sultan about the Shad program. Dear viewers, welcome back to Global Wives, and my guest is Dr. Sultan Siddiqui, who has been so passionately talking to me about the Shad program and
Yeah.
all the young people that he meets.
yeah.
What is it that motivated you?
Yeah,
It must be very interesting to be always
Yeah.
surrounded by young and young people.
Exactly. I have one of the most luckiest jobs, I would
Nice.
say. Being a faculty member,
Right.
you meet new people
Right.
every year.
Yeah.
So there is this intergenerational interaction, right?
Nice.
So it actually keeps you young and energetic.
You're all
So
role
that is the
models.
key.
You're all
Exactly.
role models too.
Exactly. And then a program like Shad, it's high energy. It demands a lot, and organizing the program is no joke. You have to look after everything from catering to bus bookings to recreational trips to health and safety,
True.
everything. So
Security and
exactly.
everything,
So 65 students is what we get. So
65 at a time?
65 is what we
That's a
have at Lakehead.
huge number.
Yeah. So making arrangements in the residence and supervising them. Shads are very boisterous people, but they are in a new environment, and in university, it's an open community. So keeping them safe is a challenge, and they also are very competitive. So in sports and so on, they put in their 100%.
More maybe.
Exactly, and some of it is like, I want to try to impress my fellow Shads, so they push themselves in different. That's how they discover their strengths, anyway. So it's a very it's a challenging program to manage. However, but the rewards are really tremendous.
Oh, good returns. Yes.
Yeah, very good returns.
Very satisfying too.
It is super satisfying. So, like the way I started Shad,
Yes.
when I joined Lakehead University, that was in 2000. 2000. The then program director, Ken Hartwigson, he is well known in town as well. He actually he came to me and he said, I heard about you. Your new faculty member is starting here, and he brought a Shad T-shirt to me, and he said, "Here, I want to introduce you to this program, Shad." He just showed me the Shad T-shirt. And the name sounded very good. And I said, what is it about? It's all about interacting with these young people. You stay with them in the residence. I thought that should be fun.
Interesting. Yeah.
That should be a lot of fun. And then I got involved in it. And then, that year, the conversations I've had with Shads were so inspiring and so creative. I remember one, it was 1 a.m., I think, and they were working on some project, and I was standing there keeping an eye on them. And they were discussing things, and then the conversation started on numbers.
Okay.
So they're talking about real numbers, imaginary numbers, and all that.
Oh, wow.
So I told them, what are all these real numbers, imaginary numbers? What about unimagined numbers. And then soon, the conversation turned into
Drifted.
creative. I mean, such a creative bunch. So
It's
that's
very
what
challenging
it
as
is. It
well
is.
to engage those young
Oh, it
minds.
is.
with
It is very challenging.
Yeah.
This is how you keep them engaged. Otherwise, they get bored very easily.
Truly.
Yeah. So at Shad, we keep it all exciting by doing all these things. So that's how I got involved in Shad, and then every year, the month of July, it re-energizes me for the rest of the year.
Nice. So you have been associated for as long
Since
as
2000, yeah.
and
Since I
have you
joined.
seen it evolve?
Oh, it has evolved quite a bit. Back in the day, we used to get grade 13s. In Ontario, we used to have grade 13.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So we used to get them. That was at a different level altogether because they were 1 year older, and they
senior.
had more life experiences.
Right.
So that was a bit hard to manage as well because many of them were 18-year-olds. They could do their own things. So how would you keep them engaged?
Yeah, young adults, we
Yeah.
may say.
Keeping the motivation and energy in the program is a challenge, but it's doable. Think about this. I mean, you have all these students, same age group, similar age group. They could just stay on campus and have fun, right? But how do you engage them in the sciences and in the goals of the program, right? So what I tell them is, at Shad, there are no marks, there are no certificates, nothing at all, right? So why do you actually work? Why do you do this intense program? Why do you participate in that, right? And the reason for that is it's all about to show to yourself, nobody else, to yourself, what you're made of, So you're proving to nobody but yourself your strengths, right? So there's the Shad. So we have this design entrepreneurship project, which is one of the big things at Shad. So they pull all-nighters for that. So can you imagine these people working in the summertime, right, pulling all-nighters, and really there are no marks, there are no grades, there's nothing going on the transcript. So why are they working? Why are they putting in all these hours? It really is to show them that what they're made of, right? Their inner character. This is what it is. So.
And it interests both girls and boys at
Oh yeah,
equal
so
numbers?
it's the same ratio, roughly
Same
about
ratio.
60-40, 60%, 40% standard. Yeah.
And you seem to be enjoying the program.
Oh, it is a lot of fun.
coordinating
It is a lot of fun. The interesting thing is I learn a lot from Shaz as well. Okay, so every Shaz actually has to give a 10-minute presentation. We call them Shaz speaks.
Oh, every Shad.
Every Shad,
Okay.
every student has to do that.
Right.
So all the variety of topics that they bring.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you cannot actually, read all about all of this.
Right.
So every year I get this dose of things that young people are finding
Some
interesting.
60 plus topics.
Exactly, right? All different topics and different subjects, right? So that sort of is very interesting. How you learn a lot. I mean, how the change is happening, how the young generation is evolving, and what are the
what they're
differences.
thinking. Yeah?
What
they're
they are
thinking.
thinking, yeah.
You must have asked a Shad what they expect out of the program, I'm sure.
But back in
What
the day,
response do you get?
if you were to ask anybody what is Shad, they would say you just have to do it. You don't really know. It's kind of hard to explain. This used to be the standard response.
Right.
So it's an experience that you must have, and that is how the word sort of got spread. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. What do you do if they would ask? So
Intense.
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 It's an intense program, and then it's the people. The people are the biggest part. You learn a lot from each other.
Right.
So you have all this it's a caring community. I mean, people care about each other at Shad.
Yes.
So and then people come from different cultural backgrounds, right? And it's such an intimate setting to understand other cultures.
It's so important that we need those kind of more platforms like those.
Exactly.
Where we understand each other.
Yeah,
and
with so many
just
differences.
have conversations.
Yeah, it's so many differences and conflicts in the world, right?
True.
Shad actually provides that platform where you appreciate each other.
Yeah, true.
And then they also think like I do,
Yeah, I
right?
know. And
So
more, yeah.
and it clicks. So it is really amazing how things click at Shad. So it's the community, it's the people. I think that's the biggest thing. So yeah.
On that very, very positive note, Dr. Sultan, thank you so much.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, and really, really commendable with your service
Thank
that you've been doing for so many years.
you.
Thank you so much for being with us on the show and talking to us
It was
about
such a
Shad.
pleasure
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, viewers. I'm hoping that we'll bring more such interesting topics and global vibes. Keep watching till we meet again. Stay well.